Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. My name is Jennifer. 23, and this is Cusper Insight 21. Don't mind me. I'm getting a dose of chocolate chips. mm, 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 mm. We need to talk. There's a lot of noise out there. Mm-mm. I'm not trying to waste your time. I'm waiting for the dog to quit barking and finish eating my chocolate chips. I went live because real time is necessary for this. Mm. How many of y'all think you got it all figured out? How many of y'all walk around there talking like you got it all figured out? Behind the screen, your life's breaking down. You don't have anybody to turn to because they all think you've got it all together and you don't want to lower their standard opinion of you. You're in a bunker right now and you're looking for assistance from someone that's not going to tell anybody that you're fucked up. And that's not really working for a lot of you out there right now. People can see that you're stressed. From my personal experience, you have to watch who you go to for assistance. Not everybody's your friend. Not everybody's going to take your information and throw it away when the reading's over or the conversation's over. Every conversation counts. It doesn't matter if it's one at the gas station or in an office somewhere and somebody's getting paid $100 an hour to listen to whatever it is you have to say. Your conversation counts. Your words count. The way you talk, the way you speak, who you speak to, who you don't speak to, who you include, who you don't include. We have Lion 433. We have Lionsgate coming up. And it's going to bring in new forms of communication. Now, these forms of communication, telepathy is one of them. A lot more people are going to learn how to use that telepathy. But there's other things coming in that make it to where you're forced to accept people for who they are. And People are forced to live honest, upright. Um, that's a blessing. It Listen, I'm not gonna lie. A lot of you out there disappointed the fuck out of me, man. And I can hold it over your heads forever and take the time to bitch about it. But for me, I'm so over all that shit that I'm just like, wow, God gave you gifts and you chose to lie, cheat, and steal from other motherfuckers. Oh. Thinking that your gifts weren't good enough. And then, like, this story's old to me. Like, I don't even want to get into it anymore. I just need to let y'all know that life is full. And each of one of you has helped me out in a positive way. I can't tell you how much of a difference I am than what I was. And there's not one person that is specific on being more important than anybody else on this journey that I've been on of healing. I understand that the devil has a real shiny way of being, and that people will do whatever it takes for money. I watched several readers that I used to count on. Watch them every day. Oh, I watched them every day. I watched them more than I did readings for myself, dude. I think that's the part that's disappointing, is that I watched people grow. I watched them tell me how my life was supposed to be, how things were supposed to go, who cares, who don't, what they're doing behind my back, and trust me, trust me, trust me. And in a moment of testing, all you motherfuckers failed, like the girls and the gymnastics Olympic Games for the United States. The fucking balance beam, dude. That shit will eat you up. That balance beam is probably the hardest to process. It is the event that every girl wants. It is the event that can, has, and will break a motherfucker's neck if they go about it the wrong way. If they go about it in the right way. It is one of the most exquisite activities you will ever have the opportunity to admire. Parallel bars are one thing, but the balance beam is, I mean, it's just a thread of gravity. in aerial light waves. It's beautiful. I love gymnastics. I love floor routines, but the balance beam and the mounts to step off when it's time to do your runoff. It some girls are just absolutely amazing. Um, I didn't get obviously I didn't get professional with gymnastics. I did it for a little while, um, but I've kept up with it through the years. Nadia Comaneci was my one of my favorites. Um, I have to say, like, yeah, she was. Oh my God. I love Nadia. I love Nadia. Uh, anyway, 11:28. You hurt me. You hurt my feelings. And, I called you my friends. In fact, I'd wake up every day excited to hear some of your voices that over the last month or so, many of you have turned against me. And in return, I shut you off and shut you down. I'm not going to listen to your batters about me because you know I'm not negative. You know I've been beat down, bullied, and lied upon. When a group of people all say the same thing, you're not supposed to believe the one person that's different. But in 98% of those things, it is the one person who's different that happens to be telling the truth about everything. Remember that when you're thinking. I've wasted so much time worried about people who were providing a vibration that healing needs to take place before they're ready for what I have to offer. You see, I am the gift in my life, in my world, in my season, in my environment. A good person told me that. And I do stand up for myself. And I recognize the beauty of having gifts that are other than ordinary, which makes it harder for me to shame you because you have these gifts, some of you, and you use them for some of the most puke of things and want me to clap for you. Mm-mm. Moving forward, I don't have any arguments for anybody on anybody's behavior. Um, while I was silent, I watched so many of you baffled at the truth of the readings I provided for you, that if you'd listened, you wouldn't be in the positions that you're in as we speak. Those moments hurt me too. Even in the moment of a I told you so, I'm going, God damn it, dude, would you have just listened to me? You wouldn't be doing what you're having to do right now. It's too important for you to prove that I was nothing but a piece of shit to you. I came to you on a prayer that you put in the air. Each and every one of you, just as I did for you. I utilized your presence in my life in ways I never have before for anyone. Many of you have stepped into my life unknowingly on levels that are, well, illegal, reprimandable, um, bold. And yet, in some ways it's suffocating, and in other ways I feel secure. I've gotten used to the surveillance now. There's still some things like I don't feel comfortable about, but well, because it's like I'm always on stage, even when I'm sleeping, even when I don't want to be. But at the same time, as I've changed, so is the reason for all of that as well. You had opportunities to grow with me, and in a moment of you being able to jump onto my boat, you decided it was more important for you to clout chase onto a platform that was made only of cardboard. So when you got wet, you're gone. God's plan. He gave you gifts and you fuck people over with them. That's ridiculous, dude. I don't want to be a part of any of that shit, dude. And I am proud and honored that in all of my moments, I have tried to provide an accurate advice and channel and message. I may not be on here every day like everybody else. But my readings are accurate. Some of them are so... Sometimes you don't want to read what you're being given, but you still have to give the reading. And it was a job that God gave me. I wasn't proud of all the time, and I'm still not always proud. Ow! I'm working on it. You can shift your positions. You can stay in the positions. Your opinions, I don't give a fuck anymore. Your presence. If you're not here to help me or others, I don't give a fuck about that either. I've changed tremendously on the give a fuck meter. It's necessary in the position that I'm in, because if I get too emotional, then my channels will become one-sided and off kilter. And too many people's lives are affected by the readings that I provide for me to fuck up. That's an honor. I'm not complaining about that. That's why I take it seriously, and I take my time with everything. And do it different. That's why, even though I say I'm going to not listen to other people's readings, which I'm getting so much better than what I was, now I get into about 5 minutes of it, and there's a couple that I'll read like through it, but I am depriving myself by not practicing with my own cards if I continue to go down the path that is just listening to you. Now, I've got cards in my hands almost all the time. But if I'm sitting there listening to somebody else, that's giving my energy to their station instead of my own. And even if I'm giving a reading for myself, that reading may be needed for somebody else as well. I'm learning those things too. I'm growing as a reader, as a person, and in faith and everything else. People get scared when they don't understand something. And I am a mystery to you in ways that science hasn't been able to explain. Spiritualists keep getting thumped on, and old friends and relatives, their minds are warped by the drugs and alcohol they've been on. Their readings are not very accurate. And you say, oh, but I drink. If the shoe fits, most of the people that I counted on that bitched at me about them drinking and it was okay, that didn't make them a bad reader, were the ones that were lying to me about what was going on. I don't have anything against you, and I don't have anything against those who drink. But I will tell you, as a 5-year recovering addict of alcohol, and I've been reading cards for 20 years, the perception is different. The channel does change. And the tune becomes easier to find the more sober you become. It's not just a judgment on you. It's in my experience I have found that the clearer my mind, the calmer I am, and the more alone I provide my environment, the better the channel and the experience of the channel. For the things that are medically declared for my system, I have access to take medicines that can put me on space stations. And I choose not to be put on those. Because I have found that since I got sober, most of my ride that I enjoy is that of closing my eyes or stepping out into space, and it's a high. Like when I channel, it's a high. It's hold on just a minute. Boys. So I don't have to say this twice. I'm probably going to share this on the other channel. Because it's necessary. I left this channel for a bit. I thought that making a new channel would shift the disposition. It shifted some things. um, helped me overcome the disposition. Made me a different person. But boy, what you see when you're willing to be flexible are sometimes things that you don't want to see. But mine are being replaced by things I want to see. I'm spending more time over in my Cusper than I am in Maneva, and the pleasantries appear much more than over there. We are in a dark world over there. I don't love anybody any less. I'm just saying that the amount of healing needing to take place over there is much more than over here. And they're stubborn. I know all that too well. They don't want to listen. They all know what they're doing, and I'm new to the table, so I have no influence or say so. Back off, I don't know what I'm talking about. Fortunately for me and God, I know what I'm talking about. And I'm also flexible to learning because only a dumbass says I know everything. I'm at the top of my game and I'm on the leaderboard at 100. You say, well, what's wrong with being the leaderboard at 100? That's not the last number. We have so much to live for. And I want us to live for it. I'm not gonna be bitching about what you say. And if I see that you are being derogatory in some way when it comes to my ways, I'll just not pay attention to it anymore. I'm not responding to it anymore. I've learned that in many cases, especially those of you right now who are against me, the way that you're speaking and the way that you're talking, you have a lot to heal, and you are projecting on to me in a lot of ways. You want me to be the one that's wrong in this situation, but the evidence is clear that I wasn't wrong. You want my gifts to be something that you can make fun of and tell people not to count on. My only problem with that is if I met somebody like me, which I have, thanks to YouTube, I appreciate the value of having that. It's like having a walking God in your presence, but it's not a God. It's like the speaker system. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what we are. That's what tarot readers are. That's what oracles are. We're just speaker systems for God, man. And like, to be one is incredible. To have some pick up your energy and be able to let you know that God's got you and you're on the right path and you're doing good. And maybe if you tune it up here and you twinkle this and you tinkle that, you can get a little more out of this. I like the way that I go about my readings, 30-40. I didn't always, and it's taken me some time to do it, and every reading is different. It's not going to change. I am different. But what is going to change is my pausing to give a fuck about the negative. If you want to do negative stuff, 31, 11, 10, that's on you. If you want to spend your time pretending that you know how to do something you don't know how to do, that's on you. You want to spend your choices on making bad ones, that's up to you. I'm not here to overpower your free will. I'm not here to judge your behavior. I'm not even here to be your friend. I am here to be a speaker for God. And what I speak tends to help people out. I'm not going to let you take how special that is away from me ever again. I'm not going to let you make me feel like I'm less than ever again. I'm not going to devote time to people who want to roll their eyes, lift their nose, and then talk to me as if they know what's going on in my show. And that's how they're getting paid, is talking about me and my show. You're like, but you're talking about ours. Like, I'm calling you out. And this isn't monetized, ladies and gentlemen. This is free. Free advice you requested. Embrace this fucking thing, man. If you don't want to hear it, then change the fucking station. Just like I do all the ones I don't want to listen to. I mute them, don't recommend channel. If they keep coming on, then I block the channel from being able to see my shit. Like, I learned how to do that too. Did you know that you can do that on YouTube? You can block channels from being able to see your stuff? I didn't know that. Till too many motherfuckers that were taking my shit and then talking shit about me did that. And I was like, you know what? Look here. You're gonna have to make a new YouTube channel if you want to see my shit. Bitch, back up. Listen, we're gonna Facebook that motherfucker. I don't have a Facebook. I don't use Instagram. And I post on TikTok on occasion. I will be continuing to post on YouTube. That's where most of the people are that need the attention. Looking for the attention. And will do something with their lives that makes a difference with the attention. And that makes a world of difference to me. I want to brag for a minute. And then we'll go. 34. Do you know how many people have been recovering over the last year? Since last year. This time last year. How often people bring up recovery? How often people are bringing up putting down the guns and putting down the violence? Do you know how many drug dealers have been taken down? Oh! Do you know how many lives have been saved? Because people who share the same opinion as me walked with me on a journey, opened their mouths about it, and let people see there is a life that you can enjoy that's free. And you don't have to hide anything about it. I've had a taste of what it's like to have a medicine cabinet. And nobody else has been in it but me. I've had a taste of being able to have my Gucci purse sitting on my kitchen table that has a partition. I did say Gucci purse. I've been carrying around a Gucci purse for about 6 months and didn't know it till today. Thank you. I had no idea. I don't pay attention to the tags. But today something told me I needed to pay attention to the tag because it would tell me how much somebody truly cared about me and that it was different than what I assumed. You see, I'm really good about getting y'all's stuff together, correct? I'm really good about my stuff too. But with my stuff, I let fear get in the way. Procrastination and my own ailments. And I'm working on that. If you don't like me, that's cool. You don't have to like me. I'm not gonna post my face on here all the time anymore. It's not necessary. You're here for the message. It doesn't matter what the fuck I look like. Every once in a while when I feel good or even when I'm brushing my teeth and y'all need to see the meat. My teeth are back in, by the way. I want to have fun again. The spirits that were in my Airbnb back in 21 or in 22, they're back. They came back about a month ago. And they brought some friends. Listen, they brought some friends. Disappeared for about 6 months. And they came back about a month ago. I'm going to be spending a lot of time by myself. It's not being rude, hateful, or disrespectful. I have a best friend. And I have God. And after all of the people that I counted on for the last 4 years that turned against me, I'm just not in the mood to hear what you have to say about me, to me, or take the time to listen to your friends' readings about how you think my life should be based on your ego drive and your clout chasing abilities. You can get mad at me if you want to. I'm okay with that. It took me a minute to be able to handle that correctly. I think I did a good job. I named my cats this last litter that I'm keeping all of them. 4043. I offered one up and then they were born and I said, oh no, yeah, I can't let them go. And I asked God what I was supposed to do, and for the last week or so, they're 3 days old, of course, but before they were born, I was asking, I didn't know how many. I was excited. And to keep them or to give them up. And, well, I kept getting a response to keep them, and I kept trying to come up with excuses as to why I shouldn't, even though I've already named them. And today I got a beautiful sign. More than one resource for free food. More than enough to carry me through. If God wants you to have something, you can have it. And it's not up to somebody else's opinion. I have a house full of kids that 911 are spending the next 21 days getting potty trained. Toilet bowl potty trained, including the dogs. In 21 days, starting tomorrow, or actually starting the day after tomorrow, starting on 8/8 Lionsgate Portal, we start potty training the house. And by the time I get all of them potty trained, the new batch will be chiming in and they will hop on like it's nothing. So I will be saving quite a bit of money on cat litter, cat bags, and time on scooping. And my babies won't have to worry about getting dirt and rocks in their toes anymore. We will let you know how that works out, but that is the next step. My world is not all about tarot anymore. There are other things I talk about. There are other things that I'm dealing with besides a deck in my hands. And I worry more about what's going on with me in the world, the universe, than I do what's going on with the guys or the gals I'm with. I find that my life has become more peaceful since I quit worrying about what somebody's doing that isn't around me. No. What's going on in my business? None of you have it correct. I'll put that out there. There is actually, I'm going to take that back. There is actually 2 readers that have it partially correct. But again, I say partially, so none of you have it 100% accurate. And I'm not saying this to be degrading. I'm saying this because my energy is cloaking. I don't want you to feel like you're doing something wrong. I don't want you to feel like your gifts are going away. I want you to understand that many of you lost the ability to read my energy because when I needed you to tell me the truth, you lied. Many of you are losing access to my energy because when you were given a choice between God and cloud, you chose cloud. Some of you will get to know more. But the special part about that is it's a conversation the public will never know. My life is not private. And the only fault, blame, or reason is because when I asked you to help me get to God, you lied. I don't care what happens to your channels. I don't care what happens to whatever. I still have a job to do, and I do my job correctly. My job happens to be similar to yours. I'm not going to let what you've done affect the ability I have to change lives. And I'm going to continue to do that. I appreciate everything that everyone has done. Whether you're a reader or somebody who's just been supportive. Again, I don't hate anybody. But I have definitely opened my eyes on who I can and who I cannot trust. And if you feel like you're going to be immensely rewarded for trying to break somebody down in a moment that they're already broken, you should probably not hold your breath. That's the best advice I can give you. Don't hold your breath on that one. It was rude what you did. And I'm not looking for you to be able to continue being rude motherfuckers. I want you guys to think about what you do. And I hope that the next person figures you out before they give you their money. And I'm glad that most of you didn't get my money. And the ones of you that helped me, one day you will get your money. I'm not here to please you. I'm here to serve you. There's a difference. And in that difference, there must be boundaries. There must be respect, discernment, empathy, compassion, patience, virtue, temperance. It's already not easy to be who the fuck I am. It's already not easy to wake up every morning and live the life that I have to live. And I do it every day. I get better at it. And it's through God that I do it. When I come to you as a speaker of God, it's what I expect to get. If I don't get that, I am going to tell on you. And I am going to make it loud so everybody can hear that your messages are not sincere. It's a form of protection. Divine right. And if you weren't clout chasing or telling lies, you wouldn't have to worry about what I'm saying. So stop projecting about how much of a bad person I am by calling you out on your shit. Stop projecting on me about how I need to fix my shit, stay in my own business, when your job is to help me with my business. And the fucking reason that we met was for you to help me with my business. Not degrade it, not gatekeep it, not steal from it, and not lie about it. I'm pretty certain on a moral compass, we're not rocking at the same level. And I'm okay with that. That means that you need some assistance and you need to be calling on God. And maybe you need to be more focused on you. So maybe you can start becoming more accurate with your readings about others. We're supposed to share the platform, people. This isn't the goddamn rock stage where people are getting fucking murdered by singing or rapping a song. These are God messages that everybody's supposed to have an opportunity to get to. I really wish you'd start treating it like that. To me, what you did was spitting in God's face. And in disrespect that I don't think I don't know, I could almost call you a group of fucking, I don't want to say it, but I mean, you know those people, you know, they call them people that they let their ego get the best of them, and rather than lose their fame, they'd rather lie on someone. Defamation of character is one of the most horrible things you can do to someone. Personally, mentally, physically, and spiritually. Everyone has had to deal with it. But the ones who should not be projecting it are those who are supposed to be the speakers of God's messages. You can get mad at me all you want to, but you are supposed to be giving a message from God. And I just don't see how some of you can think that the words coming out of your mouth that are lies, and you know that they are messages of God. Do not stand before me and be proud of the job that you are doing when you know that what you're doing is robbing Peter and forgetting about Paul. But Paul has not been forgotten by God. Only by you. Big mistake. Big mistake. You get paid by commission, don't you? Consider me your pretty woman in this motherfucker. I can teach you something, and I can learn from you. But continuing to degrade me, defame me, and perceive me as the problem in your life environment is only depriving you from now on. Because you are replaceable. Being in a negative spirit. It's the positive ones I'm trying to do what it takes to keep around. It's not degrading you or projecting onto you that you are a bad person. It's letting you know that there are things that I will or I will not put up with. You decide whether you want to be a part of it or not. Nobody in my group is going to continue to get hurt. Nobody in the level or the ways that we're going is going to be out here hurting other people. We're going to be honest motherfuckers you can count on the day, the night, the week, or the weekend. Even on the holiday. What we're building is nothing to laugh about. It's something that is going to make this world continue to live instead of die. And that includes people that at this moment in time you may not think should be a part of it. But God's healing hands have a way of working things out. Sometimes he even surprises himself. I don't give up on you. But I don't want anything to do with you until you fix your shit. And I mean that from the bottom of my fucking heart. And for the backlash of helping you do this on your own before you come talk to me anymore, let me remind you. I was not sober 2 weeks when my own flesh and blood mother threw me out in 30-degree weather after paying her fucking rent for the second month in a row because my brother stole money out of her account. And ended up having to go to a homeless shelter. That was January 2017. I will never forget that. I made one of the hardest decisions of my life on what is considered one of the most to some unlucky days. For me, the most lucky day of my life. This is now August 7th, I'm gonna say. It's after midnight. Oh, no, it's 11:22, so we're still on August 6th. 11:23. 100. August 6th, 2024. Oh. On January 13th, 2017, I quit all painkillers and meth and do cocaine. In May of 2019, May 8th, 2019, I quit drinking. In November that same year, I quit smoking cigarettes. I have not had sex since May of 2017. I have fought Hep C. I'm in remission. I have mental illness. I have degenerative disc disorder. I have a plate, 2 pins in my back, and 2 fake discs, my L1 and S7. Which makes it very... That's the bend of your back. Right there where your back bends, your hips and your back bend from each other. That's where that's at. So every time I bend over, my back pops. Every time I move to side, my body rocks. I also have the same thing in my hips, which over the last 6 months have really been letting me know that it's there. And yet, in order to get this apartment, I walked almost 30 miles in a couple days. I have 4 different types of degrees. I've been estranged from my family for multiple different reasons. For them, they'll say it's because of my attitude. And for me, I'll say it's because they were selfish, self-centered, and didn't want to shift their dispositions into being positive people. Everybody has a side of their story. This is mine. I don't ever want to go back to Tennessee. Just as with many of you readers, when I needed them the most, they were too busy for me. I have been without food. I've been without money. I've been without cigarettes. I've been without meds. I've been without my kids. And yet, in my hardest of times of need, I fed their kids. I bathed their kids. I helped their kids with their homework. I cleaned their houses. I drove them to work. I gave to them and took from myself. Those same people are the ones telling you who they think I am. Do you honestly believe if I'm dealing with you the way that I am, they knew who the fuck I am? Be honest when you answer that question. I wasn't as strong back then as I am now. And yet my cutoff game is enough to piss a motherfucker off. They still watch me. They still have something to say. And I left Crossville 4 years ago. I haven't had a man that I call a boyfriend in 10 years. So I'm okay with leaving people behind that don't have a problem leaving me behind. I'm not going to keep crying over trying to fit in where I don't belong. And you're not going to make me feel like I'm less than because your wickedness is something I'm not contending in. I want to help people, not hurt people. I don't want to degrade people. I want to embrace people. If I'm telling you something, you probably need to fix it. I'm tired of people being so fucking vile, dude. It takes a lot of kahunas to be different than everybody else. The gift of being a member of God is the only tool you need to get that. And yet, 95% of motherfuckers leave that motherfucker sitting in the toolbox like it ain't there. It's a shame. Because I wouldn't be here today if it weren't for God. And neither would you. And if the power of God can get you out of the bed every day, even on your worst of days, the power of God can get you up every day without you having to set an alarm, write a note to take a breath, or have somebody remind you it's time to go to work. That's all God-given. Things we take for granted. You can say and think however. You can watch me for as long as you want to. I just want you to make sure that in the process of it, you find the time to be flexible about your perception. And I think the best way for you to go about that is to get your birth chart. I want each of you to get your birth chart. And I want you to study it. I don't want you to study anything else other than Western astrology. That's what most people go by. It's much easier to understand than Vedic astrology or Chinese astrology. And for this activity, I believe it would be best. Now, what I want you to do is check out your birth chart. You're going to need it for the future of this channel because we're going places. And it's not trying to get in a motherfucker's bed. It's not breaking up relationships, talking shit about people. We're going to different dimensions, places we've never heard of before. I'm about to be changing this place up in ways that will bring in more of what I'm talking about. And you'll be able to see some of it. I'm about to piss you off again. The depth of vision that you will have moving forward for this channel will depend on your levels, your ego, your mind, your duty, your drive, your healing. Where we're going on this channel is going to be hard at times. You're going to be lost sometimes. But you're going to have to trust the entire time. It may not make sense, but you're gonna have to want to do it anyway. A lot of the times, my silence is meant to be read. And my speech is meant to be silenced. You'll have to read between the lines and look for the signs. Take your time and dive deeper after we get offline. You want to go places? We're going. But you're gonna have to stop all the other fucking shit to get there. This ain't a game. And where we're going, there's no room for mistakes. There's no room for jealousy. There's no room for ego. There's no room for power fuckery. Everybody has to be equal, or it's not gonna fucking work. So if you are a weak link in the project, you will have to remain back until you become appropriate. You're not being left out. You're being repositioned. And nobody can tell you when it's your time to join the crowd back. That is completely up to God, the universe. Because it depends on your position, what job position that you have in this next round, on each of these dimensions that we're going on. You have a job. You're in training right now. You have a job. The fun thing about this is it's not going to feel like a job. Once we get through the next 3 years, 3 years, it's not going to feel like a job. It's going to feel like one of the boldest experiences that you could have ever dreamed of. I need your mind right. I need your heart right. I need your soul right. And I need you to be dedicated to figuring shit out on your own as well. Get books you're not reading with me. Get decks of cards that nobody else has and nobody else sees you using. Do readings that people don't see you doing. 944. Rearrange your house. For 8-8, I need you to shift your shit. Get the fuck out of the negative. Because it's that time. And I'm not gonna keep waiting on you guys to understand and I'm gonna quit making excuses for myself that I'm not ready to take us where I was born to take us. The sky's not the limit. It's actually just the deck. I've said this before and you laughed at me, made fun of me. And we all got put through some tests over the last few months. And I'll make a deal with you. Now, I'm not going to know the responses because, like I said, I'm not really listening to other readers anymore. And that's not being one-sided. This is an absolute must. Because I don't need to explain it. I just need you to trust it. Couch potato, couch potato. I'm going to say one more thing. And this, as I'm saying it, I want you to take it to heart. I want you to set it in your soul. And I want you to remember it forever. Speak it into existence if you need to. Whenever you need to. We're all born for a reason. We all want to be loved. We all deserve to be free, to be who we want. Safety should be a standard. Happiness should be a given. Our ancestors have made a lot of choices in their life that have cost a lot. We have the opportunity to make it right. Let's not fuck it up. I don't have to go through what we bitched about over the last year Many of you have realized that, I mean, it's hard to hear. It's actually kind of right. Now that we know that, we're going to be presented with something else to go through, which is going to provide us with the ability to detach. That is the next lesson. The reason for detachment is because the amount of dimensional travel that many people will be able to take will put you in positions that will change not just your placing planetarily, but time-wise as well. We're opening up to the prospect of literal time exchange. Only if I'm saying, my view is that before, of course, we already know that time travel has happened. If you have not brought that to your mind and you still think that it is not, please take the time to go watch The Simpsons. That, I believe, is the most accurate depiction of time travel that you can use, and it's not doctored up. It's actual factual. Like, people used to make fun of The Simpsons when they first came out. I like The Simpsons, but they did get on my nerves, so I didn't watch them all the time. However, my brother, that was like, those are the kind of things that my brother watched all the time, so I got to know quite a bit about that stuff. Nick at Night and Cartoon Network, and they provided quite a show. But anyway, the travel that we're going to be doing could make you anywhere from minutes to multi-million year differences between you and your loved ones, which may or may not change between when something happens. To make it easier and to be able to continue to progress without interruption or the necessity of healing yourself, it is necessary to start adapting to detachment. We're going to be getting into those things in later readings. Like I said, this is about a 3-year journey that we're going on right now. And it starts on 8/8. Oh. 1 2 4 1 5 4 5. This is going to be a beautiful journey. Don't go around trying to say your goodbyes to people. It's not like that. Please don't do that. You freak people out. Please don't do that. This journey, I don't know how to explain it, but you're not supposed to be scared of it. I know that. We're not supposed to be scared. But you're going to be spending a lot of time by yourself, a lot of time with people you can't tell anybody about, doing things that you can't tell anybody about. Depending on what your job description is, you're also going to have to get ready to do that. Be ready for that. You can take this seriously or you can make fun of it. But if you take it seriously, we're about to have ourselves the cake, the ice cream, and the cherries with stems. And all we gotta do is get smarter. Huh. I don't know about you, but that's the cheapest fucking thing I ever heard of. All you gotta do is get smarter. Who the fuck doesn't want to get smarter? That's where we're headed. So if you want to join me, be back here the next time there is a reading. And we'll find out what our next step is. If I were you, I would suggest collecting stones, tarot decks, books, ebooks. Learn your symbols. Many of you have those things down, but some of you do not. We have a lot to learn. For some people, it will be some repeat. But for many people, even some of the things that look familiar will be different. Because where we're headed is brand new. And so even our crystal grids and other stuff is going to be new and different. So many of you, some of you will have those gifts to provide, and some of you will be getting those gifts as well. Please enjoy tomorrow or today, August 7th, 2024. It's my oldest son's birthday. And he turns 23. He's my Jordan this year. Happy birthday, kid. Hope it's everything you want it to be. I love you. And for 8/8, get your house clean. I don't want you to just clean your house. What I want you to do is I want you to clean out your closets. And I want you to rearrange your furniture. And then I want you to take the time to learn something that you've never heard of before. Don't forget your birth chart. And don't forget to read the entire chart. Not just the part where it tells you the sun sign and it tells you your rising sign and it tells you your north node. The entire chart has things in it that are important for you to know for the future we're going into. Please take the time to check yours out. We will be going over that stuff as well over the next few weeks. So definitely stay tuned for that. Definitely stay tuned. This is, I think, next week we will be starting Monday. We will start going over the different parts of the birth charts. So that gives you enough time, that gives you a week to look it over for yourself, check it out. And then on Monday, I already have my birth chart. We will go over them together and split it up into little pieces on how it makes a difference and adapting your chart into your daily living, your weekly living, your monthly living, your quarterly living, your eating habits, your drinking habits, via your chart. And the reason we're going to use your chart is because that is you as a whole, how you were born to be, what your highest value is to obtain is in that chart. It's almost, it is a 3D version of your Akashic record. It is how you're going to get to your Akashic record. It is how you're going to be able to maneuver the other dimensions. Take it seriously and take your time. Don't worry about what you specifically need to focus on. Just generally look over it. Whatever you feel drawn to paying attention to, pay attention to it. You have 6 days to do whatever you want, to figure out whatever it is that you need. On Monday, we will start doing the chart breakdown. And again, be doing all those different things. Okay? Yeah, I think that's the best way to start this out. Over the weekend, I have some stuff that is going to be helping us out tremendously. So I will be doing a reading this weekend. All of these readings in between will be different. Some may be for you and some may be for somebody else. All these readings you don't have to listen to be on this journey. So if you miss some, it's okay. But if you get them all, that's great. I am, after almost, 133:56, done. Thank you guys so much for being here. I do appreciate you. And I'm looking forward to the journey that we're taking together as a team, as a whole, and as ourselves. Until next time, love, light, life, kisses, and blessings, y'all.